America's watching ABC.
Hundreds turn out today in Alexandria to remember Melissa Johnson. Amidst the pain, there's still deep outrage tonight about the circumstances surrounding her abduction and murder. That headlines Eyewitness News. I'm Angela Storr.
And I'm Mark Stapelsa. Also tonight, has the shooting spree outside the Skyway Theater over the weekend led to an increase in racial tensions? We'll look into that question.
And find out how this family is dealing with the stress of being together but still apart.
That's all coming up. But do we have those Go for 5 numbers for you? Yes, we do. Those lottery numbers are being drawn as we speak. The jackpot worth $300,000. And here, I hope, they are. 29. Got a whole lot to go here, don't we? 20. 18. 19. And finally, 8. Eyewitness News is next.
Accidents? I don't even think about them anymore.
Attend's undergarments for the protection you want against the accidents you don't want. Attend's has a snug, secure shape and fits high at the waist, not low. It also has a super absorbent pad built right in, like a pad within a pad, for outstanding absorbency. The absorbency you need for exceptional protection against leaks. Attend's for the protection you want against the accidents you don't want.
I can't believe how dry she is.
She's so glad we switched to Pampers. It's those leak barriers. They're so high.
Today's Pampers with leak barriers. Not just high, they're 25% higher. The other leading diaper only goes this high. Pampers goes higher. The highest walls of protection you can get, plus a unique absorbent core. Together, they help keep the wetness and mess inside the diaper and away from your baby's skin.
She's a happy baby, she's a dry baby.
Today's Pampers with higher leak barriers for dry and happy babies.
Just look at that smile.
Saturday night, Chili's Grill and Bar. My family and I decided to check out the menu. I was eyeing the old-timer with cheese, but decided on the baby back ribs instead. The kids ordered the fajitas and the chicken sandwich. My wife was enjoying the grilled tuna salad with ranch dressing. We were stuffed. So we dropped the curtain on a wonderful night.
You're watching KSTP Channel 5, St. Paul, Minneapolis. And now live from your 24-hour news channel, Angela Storr, Mark Stapelsa, meteorologist Dave Dahl, and Joe Schmidt with sports. This is Eyewitness News at 10.
Family and friends mourn the loss of Melissa Johnson in her hometown of Alexandria today. Tears fall for a life full of promise, which ended in a brutal crime. Good evening, everyone. 23-year-old Melissa Johnson was set to graduate from college and become a teacher. But last week, she was abducted from a St. Cloud street and murdered. Today, more than 500 people grieved as funeral services were held for Melissa. Outside this Alexandria church, her father embraced a tearful roommate as both shared the pain of her death. Melissa's sister thanked those attending for their support and said Melissa was now, quote, a guardian angel.
Scott Stewart, the man charged with Melissa Johnson's murder, remains in jail tonight. And as you know, he's accused of abducting and killing Johnson just 4 days after being released from prison on a rape conviction. Now, he was to report to a halfway house, but he never showed. And tonight, Governor Arne Carlson is calling for immediate changes in the way Minnesota releases its criminals. He's ordered the Department of Corrections to begin escorting all inmates to halfway houses.
And if we have to compromise inmates' rights, we will do so. If we're going to make mistakes, I'd rather make it against the inmate or the perpetrator than against society as a whole.
Carlson says he'll need the cooperation of the legislature and the courts.
The murder of Melissa Johnson nearly mirrors another murder in Brooklyn Park last September.
You may remember when 14-year-old Jamie Cooksey was killed, and tonight her parents are joining the call for something more to be done. Randy Meyer joins us now from the control center. Randy?
Well, the man who is now in custody for the brutal sexual assault and murder of Jamie Cooksey also never showed up at the 180-degree halfway house when he was released from prison on a rape conviction. For the parents of Jamie Cooksey, the Melissa Johnson tragedy is a grim reminder of a flawed system. 14-year-old Jamie Cooksey was sexually assaulted and murdered in this wooded area one morning on her way to school. Brooklyn Park police arrested this man, 25-year-old Richard Allen Mormon, recently released from prison on a rape conviction, and a man who never showed up at a halfway house, hauntingly similar to the grisly murder of Melissa Johnson.
Absolutely outraged. Here it is, just like a replay of our incident. Different time, different place, different person, but the end results are the same. It happened again. Still, nobody has learned anything.
David Johnson, one of the Brooklyn Park police officers involved in the Cooksey case, says he's learned something. Physically placing someone in a halfway house like the 180 degree doesn't guarantee they'll stay there.
In these two particular cases, had that been done, to make a blanket statement that we would have had no further victimization, we'd had no further crimes, I think is making a statement that probably the evidence could not support.
Melissa Johnson's death is a renewed reminder to Jim and Linda Cooksey that the system is far from perfect. Their days now are spent coping.
We've been going to Parents of Murdered Children, and that has been really helpful. And we've learned that there are so many people out there like us, and it's just got to stop.
Now, Linda and Jim Cooksey say the governor's order to escort parolees to halfway houses is a step in the right direction. But Mark and Angela, they believe the real answer lies in better evaluation of convicts before they're released.
All right, Randy. Well, we've uncovered a crime spree overnight in central Minnesota, which could further fuel anger about repeat offenders. An ex-convict released less than 3 weeks ago from a Wisconsin prison went on a crime spree through Isanti, St. Joseph, and Fergus Falls before being captured near Moorhead. He allegedly raped a clerk at this St. Joseph motel, robbed that motel and another, plus a gas station with a sawed-off shotgun. Nearby residents, again, are alarmed.
I'm just really confused. I don't understand how so much of this can be going on at the same time.
The suspect in this latest series of incidents was released from a prison on June the 26th.
But of course, the big city has its crime as well. Minneapolis police say the city is on course to break its record for rapes. We found the frightening statistics for the first half of the year, and they show rapes up 25% over last year. And as Jeff Crilly reports, police say the rapes are becoming more violent.
Rape and Sexual Assault Center, this is Deb.
The phone calls have doubled at this 24-hour Minneapolis Rape Counseling Center. They are now handling 300 calls a month, and they know that's still just a fraction of the actual number of rape victims. Most victims are too afraid to tell anyone.
For somebody to be able to even use the words to describe what happened is very loaded, it's very personal, and feels very violating.
Counselors say part of the problem is male dominance over women is still to a certain extent condoned by society. Women's groups point to this scene from Gone with the Wind as an example.
One night you're not turning me out.
Rhett Butler takes Scarlett against her will to the bedroom, and the next morning she awakes with a smile. The underlying message, say critics, women want to be overpowered. Now take a look at these statistics. They aren't from any Hollywood movie. From January through May of 1990, there were 252 rapes reported in Minneapolis. For the same period this year, 314, a 25% increase.
And not only are the number of rape cases up, but police say they are now dealing with a different kind of rape case. Increasingly, police say, the rapes they're dealing with now are much more violent.
Police say all too often rape victims are battered in addition to the sexual assault.
Or the level of violence that they commit during the rape is much greater than they would need to commit the crime or to accomplish the rape, so to speak.
Police say part of the solution is for the public to become more outraged about rape, because this is one record the city should be afraid of breaking. Jeff Crilly, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
Because of the recent concern about sex offenders, we have a special report coming up tomorrow night. Right after Eyewitness News at 10, stay tuned for our Minnesota Live tonight. Sexual offenders, who pays for a second chance? We'll look at what to do with convicted sex offenders in Minnesota. That's tomorrow night at 10:35, immediately following Eyewitness News.
Racial tension is another concern heightened in recent days. On Saturday, 6 people were injured during a shootout spree in downtown Minneapolis following the movie Boys in the Hood. And yesterday, tempers flared at a meeting between city officials and residents of the Minneapolis black community. Carolyn Brookter has more on the tension and concerns for safety during tomorrow night's Aquatennial Torchlight Parade.
Matthew Ramadan was at the meeting yesterday, and he says he left with a feeling of hopelessness. Despite that, he believes the community has to work together with the city to solve the problems.
We see all these young kids out here who have good minds, are really sharp. We're not figuring out a way to put them into business.
But Ramadan says the community should not come to the rescue of the city by going to the Aquatennial Parade tomorrow night to keep the calm. Spike Moss feels the same way. He says the Stop the Violence Committee and his group at the City Incorporated have decided not to go unless they're needed. And as for the long term,
we're going to go back to the table with the mayor and them and work out on paper all the things that we want to try to do for these young people.
Minneapolis City Councilwoman Jackie Cherryholm says she understands the frustrations, but she says now it's time to move forward.
We really need to begin now to talk about what we're going to do next summer. At the same time, we need to not just focus on a summer crisis every year, and we need to have a long-term, long-range plan.
And as for tomorrow night,
I always like to believe people will do the right thing and will rise to the occasion and be responsible people. And I believe that's what will happen tomorrow night.
Carolyn Brookter, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
And there will be added Minneapolis police officers on duty downtown during the parade activities, and our news crews will be bringing you live reports tomorrow.
Do new measures need to be taken to protect Minnesotans from HIV-infected dentists? That's what members of the Minnesota Board of Dentistry HIV Task Force are asking. Controversy over 2 Minnesota doctors with AIDS and the case of the Florida dentist who transmitted the disease to a patient are prompting action.
I think the State Board of Dentistry would like to assure the general public in Minnesota that they're safe in going to the dentist.
The group will release recommendations on AIDS testing and disclosure in about a month. East meets West tomorrow in London when a communist leader makes a first-ever appeal at the Free World Economic Summit. Soviet President Gorbachev arrived in London tonight, where he will ask the leaders of the 7 largest industrial democracies for a monetary transfusion to help revive an ailing Soviet economy. Just how much aid Gorbachev will get has been a topic of debate. President Bush, Britain's John Major, Canada's Brian Mulroney, and Japan's Prime Minister Kaifu want more evidence of free market reforms. Germany, France, and Italy have pushed for a more concrete response to Gorbachev's pleas. In any case, President Bush promised Gorbachev will not leave empty-handed. The summit leaders relaxed in style tonight at a gala at Buckingham Palace. Secretary of State Baker leaves for the Middle East later this week and is now more hopeful for a breakthrough to peace. Baker says Syria has struck a more conciliatory tone.
What we have in the response from President Assad is the real possibility of bringing about, I think, direct, face-to-face, bilateral negotiations between Israel and Syria.
One sticking point is whether the UN will be involved.
There's a lot more to come here on Eyewitness News. We're continuing our look at dual-career families. How can you cope with both parents working?
When she's stressed out, I take over. We just switch off.
Later in weather, Dave Dahl has a forecast you're not going to love unless you like it real hot. And later, why this sports anchor is filing a lawsuit against the TV station he worked for earlier today. That's all coming up.
Pure Cold has taken on a new form. Introducing Michelob Golden Draft Light, a refreshingly light draft beer that's cold filtered for purity. Golden Draft Light, the smooth draft beer that goes down easy. Pure Cold has taken on a new form. The easygoing taste of Michelob Golden Draft Light.
Pontiac Bonneville. The car book calls it one of the top values in a full-size car. Now, with $1,500 cash back, you'll call Bonneville one hot value. $1,500 cash back, Bonneville's biggest cash back ever. Plus, you could save even more with the biggest ever Bonneville factory-to-dealer incentives. For the biggest savings ever on a new 91 Bonneville, see your Pontiac Excitement dealer. Gold sponsor of the 1991 Special Olympics.
Menards can help you redecorate, keep cool, and save. Hunter remote-controlled ceiling fans are on sale now. Or choose a Hunter dual mount or Hugger fan for your home for just $79.99. And give your walls a change of color with America's best-selling wall paint, Glidden Spread Satin. Popular pre-mixed colors are now just $8.99 a gallon. Save on everything for your home at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
There's a place where people come from miles around to feed their souls, where the sauce is spicy, the ribs are cooked slow, and the action is fast. But don't bring your American Express card. Don't bring your Visa card either. In fact, don't go there at all, because it's a lot less trouble to pick up Lloyd's ribs at your grocery store. Lloyd's fully cooked barbecue ribs, like ribs from the best joint in town, but you don't have to go there to get them.
Yours might be one of the growing number of families with two parents who work full-time.
In fact, according to the latest national figures, these families are the majority. Now, last night, Val Holly-Dennis introduced us to families struggling with the problems of dual careers. Tonight, we check back with this family to see how they're doing just weeks after seeking help.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this food and the nourishment to our body in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
This is a rare but welcome sight at the McGann household. The family's having dinner together, a treat that's become quite difficult since Linda went back to work 7 years ago to help make ends meet. Just a few weeks ago, the McGanns found themselves trapped in a dilemma quite common among dual career families. The added stress that comes with raising two children, keeping up two full-time jobs, as well as a household, almost became too much to handle.
A constant stress, you know, always something more to do, always this, always that, you know, and never feeling like there's enough time. I often say there's just not enough time in the day to complete everything that you feel that you need to get completed.
In an attempt to reduce that stress, the McGanns sought the help of Joanne Bergio, a family counselor and parent who knows firsthand the stresses of a split-shift, dual-career family.
There's no off-duty time, there's no escape time, there's no one to say, honey, you make dinner, I'm going to go lie down, or, you know, I'm going to go out to run and you watch the kids, or you take the kids for a movie, I'll mow the lawn. You're doing it all.
A major advantage the McGanns have over many families in finding a solution to their problem is their common goal to make things work, a quality experts say is crucial to a family's stability.
You need to be able to do that. You need to be able to say, this is what I'm committed to, this is what I'm working for, this is what we are working for.
And Bergio says there are other things you can do to reduce stress and make sure the family stays intact. Among them, a realistic evaluation of your home and work situation. If you can make positive changes, do it now before it's too late. Learn to compromise. It's give and take in any family. Let go of guilt. There are some things you just cannot change. Watch your diet and alcohol consumption. The wrong chemicals can only worsen your stress. If you can't spare more time, take 10 minutes every day with each member of your family, not excluding your spouse. And last but not least, take 10 minutes for yourself.
Yep.
Since the McGanns' first meeting with a counselor just a few weeks ago, a number of positive changes have occurred. Scott, for the first time he can remember, took time out for a night out on his own. The family is planning a weekend getaway. They say they're having more fun together. And last but not least, they're talking to each other more.
You know, that is helping us communicate. That's a real good reason for going.
The McGanns admit stress is not about to leave their lives, but they say they have the key ingredient which will keep them intact.
I don't know, it sounds kind of corny, but just love. I mean, you're all, if you love each other and you know, you don't throw away what you love, so you just keep going and keep trying.
In Eagan, Val Holly-Dennis, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
And incidentally, if you find that your family is having difficulty coping with the stresses involved in a dual career situation, experts say don't wait too long to find that help.
Dave Dahl is headed in next with the weather. There's no doubt it was a cooker out there today. We'll find out next if tomorrow's weather will be a good catch for these baseball players.
Hey, Dave, is the weather going to be hotter than his fastball tomorrow?
Dave Dahl throws us his forecast when we return.
Did you know you can drive a brand new 1991 Chevrolet S10 Tahoe pickup for only $179 a month? $179 a month and no down payment. Your S10 Tahoe is equipped. Tahoe trim, V6 engine, AM/FM stereo cassette, deluxe two-tone paint, sliding rear window, white letter radials, chrome step bumper, and more. 91 S10 Tahoe. $179 a month. $179 a month lease and no down payment. It's that simple at your Heartland Chevrolet Geo dealers. Hurry.
Red cars, red lips, red stars,
start seeing red. Target Red for red hot prices, fast, friendly service, and top brand names. Red means real value at Target.
Start seeing red. You're right on target. Start seeing red. Smart shoppers look our way. Red. You're right on target. Start seeing red, red, right on target. Don't worry, call the Car X-Man.
My dad taught me everything I know about cars. He only got one thing wrong. He never told me to bring my car to CarX for brakes.
I always went some other place.
These guys are real pros. I get quality parts and a lifetime guarantee on my shoes and pads.
I always went some other place.
Dad, do you think you get expert work like this for so little at some other place?
What other place?
Rattle, rattle, thunder, clatter, boom, boom, boom. Don't worry, call the Car X-Man.
Over the past 2 years, more than 250,000 truck owners had a better idea. They switched to Chevy and made Chevy full-size America's #1 truck. Now, more than ever.
Today's truck is Chevrolet.
On the next Good Company, meet Will Cortland from All My Children.
Advice on how to get bargains on shoes and accessories.
And see what happens when Steve appears on All My Children.
We were just talking about how our fans and air conditioners are getting a real workout.
And they're still going to get a workout right on through the rest of the week, probably. We have a cool front that's trying to push the hot air out, but it's not going to really do much tonight. Sticky. You know what it is going to do? As the front gets a little bit closer to us and probably sits right on top of us, it's going to kill the wind. There is some severe thunderstorm activity going on right as we speak up in northeastern Minnesota. Produced some marble-sized hail and gusty winds over 45 miles per hour. Way up in the northeastern corner of the state, there is a severe thunderstorm watch out until the wee hours of the morning, about 1 a.m. And that extends from Brainerd northward through Duluth all the way up to about International Falls, including cities such as Ely and Hiving. But it does not, as you can see, include the Twin Cities area. And it appears as though most of the weather is going to stay up over northeastern Minnesota at least over the next 4 to 5 hours. Using the Channel 5 color radar, there it is, a big swath of thunderstorm activity that did produce that marble-sized hail up over northeastern Minnesota. That is now pushing down across Lake Superior, and it's pushing into northern Wisconsin and the upper peninsula of Michigan. But that is about it. For the rest of the state, it's almost too hot to form any storms down here in the southern two-thirds of our state. Outside officially at the airport right now, 86 for the temp. The dew point is way up there at 72. It's giving us 63% for the relative humidity, a south breeze at 12, and the barometric pressure is steady, 29.95 inches of mercury. And we do have partly cloudy skies. Today's high temperature way up to 94. That's 10 above what's average for the state, but it did fall 8 degrees shy of the record. Set back in 1926, we hit 102. 74 this morning's low. We're going to be probably 2 degrees warmer than that tonight. Only going to get down to about 76, so definitely uncomfortable. No rain officially out at the airport. Sunrise now at 5:43 and sunset is at 8:55. The satellite loop shows the storminess up to the north and east of us. Big thunderstorms erupted over the northeastern corner of the state, and that continues to push southeastward. But there's just a weak indication of maybe a thunderstorm popping in the central part of the state toward morning. I'll give you what those chances are with our forecast. That's coming up next.
This Eyewitness Weather Update is brought to you by your local Northland Ford dealer.
They're built with pride, quality, commitment. For over 65 years, the Ford Twin Cities Assembly Plant has been building America's best-built, best-selling trucks. And now, while supplies last, a limited production run of the special Northland Edition F-150 and Northland Edition Ranger. Built right here in the Northland by your friends and neighbors at your Quality One award-winning assembly plant.
You shouldn't have to choose your oak furniture from catalogs. That's why at Thompson Oak, we keep thousands of pieces in stock, making everyone else's selection seem a little flat. Thompson, the biggest name in oak furniture. If the choices in oak furniture at your typical furniture store seem rather small, come to Thompson Oak. The selection here is huge. Thompson, the biggest name in oak furniture.
When upper management does not indicate a legitimate concern or care for their employees, how can they expect the employee to have that type of legitimate concern or caring for the customer? Leadership starts at the top. As a famous haberdasher said, 40 or 50 years ago. The buck stops here. At the Men's Warehouse, we like to say it a little differently. I guarantee it.
For 24 years, Slumberland has brought comfort and style to your home. And today, we've never looked better. Now, give that tired room a whole new look instantly from Slumberland. It's instant rooms with extra savings. Choose this striking Euro-style sofa and love seat, plus the coffee table and 2 end tables. All 5 pieces for just $9.99. Or this 5-piece traditional group at just $7.99. Instant rooms anniversary savings. If you think you can do better anywhere else, dream on.
Very warm across most of the central part of the country. 100s again for central South Dakota, down into western Nebraska. 90s, well into the 90s here in southern Minnesota and the Twin Cities. Forecast map shows an isolated thunderstorm possible toward morning in eastern Minnesota, but the best chance up in northern Wisconsin. And the hot just keeps on coming. The forecast for overnight tonight, warm, muggy, and isolated thunderstorm possible. 72 to 76, that's overnight lows, southwest winds. And they'll lighten up toward morning tomorrow. Mostly sunny, 74, and the winds become very light. By the afternoon, only southeast at 5 to 10. That's not going to help out much because the highs are going to reach 92 to 96, and it will be very humid. For Wednesday night, partly cloudy, 69 to 74. The outlook for Thursday, sunny and hot, and still very humid, 94 to 98. As we look ahead, the chance of thunder moves in on Friday with highs upper 80s and probably even lower 90s still, and 90s Saturday and 90s Sunday, and the heat wave goes on. I think we're going to get about 3 or 4 more 90-degree days in a row.
And 90 and 90 and 90 and more 90s.
It goes on and on. Thank you, Dave.
Yep.
Sports anchor Tom Ryther is filing an age discrimination lawsuit against his now former station KARE-TV. Lou Harvin has the response from both sides in the first suit of its kind at a Twin Cities TV station.
15 years ago, it would appear Tom Ryther could go on forever. But time now has changed his youthful appearance, and he says Channel 11 is holding that against him.
I am just simply too old for a station that wants to promote and portray a youthful news team.
Vice President of News Janet Mason wouldn't answer specific questions this afternoon, but read a brief statement.
We've decided not to renew his contract for legitimate business reasons.
Ryther, however, accuses the station of making it appear he's not popular anymore.
Janet Mason told me that that I shouldn't feel bad that I have been a failure in this market, that maybe I can go someplace else and find a job and find success. But I've been in this market for 18 years, so I must have done something right.
Ryther says most of his 12 years at KARE have been pretty good, but this afternoon that ended. After announcing his lawsuit today, the station told him to pack up his things and leave. Lou Harvin, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
Ryther says 3 other male employees over 50 have had problems at KARE. At least one settled out of court.
Up next in sports, Herschel Walker loses his spot on one team and is still a no-show for the other. And the Twins were hoping to nab another win in Milwaukee. Joe Schmidt has the details.
Remember your 4 food groups.
Now, class, for proper nutrition, we must all learn to eat from the 4 food groups. Repeat it with me. The 4 food groups. Again. The 4 food groups. Again.
Introducing Basic 4 cereal, a delicious blend of grains, fruits, and nuts that with milk gives you the goodness of the 4 food groups, like you've never tasted them before. New Basic 4 cereal.
We have seen the future.
And it tastes great.
The amazing Pizza Hut Pick-Up Pairs deal.
Some deal. There's gotta be a catch. There's always a catch. You know, they probably skimp on the cheese. Oh, boy, that figures. Cheese is my favorite part. Pizza's probably smaller, probably the size of a cracker. There's gotta be a catch.
Carry out 1 medium double cheeseburger pizza for $8.99, or get 2 for just $4 more, or get a deluxe with bacon and onion for just $1 more.
So, how do you like your pizza?
Me? Can't complain.
Pizza Hut, making it great.
An important message for Buick owners. Some of your better Buick dealers' best-selling cars are pre-owned Buicks. And right now, inventories are running especially low. So now, during their big Buick buyback this week and this week only, get a special trade-in bonus guaranteed to take you out of your old Buick and into a new one. Plus, get up to $2,000 cash back direct from the factory on selected new Buick models. So bring your old Buick, bring your title to the big Buick buyback this week only, and only at your better Buick dealer. Your old Buick may never be worth more.
On the next Live with Regis and Kathy Lee, singer Peebo Bryson and his hit, Can You Stop the Rain?
Tomorrow afternoon at 4 here on Channel 5.
On this hot summer night, it was not a night for the firemen. Both sides.
No, I'll tell you what, Aguilera, who's been an all-star reliever and has had the most saves in the major leagues, not tonight. Kevin Tapani should break a mirror while he's walking under a ladder while a black cat is slinking by. He needs something to change his luck. He was all set to win his 6th game of the season. The Twins led 3-2 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th, and Rick Aguilera on the mound. Guess who won? This was a physical ball game tonight at County Stadium. Paul Molitor and Greg Gagne hit harder than they do in pro wrestling. Greg looked like Vern Gagne, but they were all okay there. The Twins trailed 1-0 until the 5th. Randy Bush drills this one right down the line at right. Greg Gagne wheels all the way home from first base, and the game is tied at 1. Now, it stayed that way until the top of the 9th. With Jarvis Brown on first base, Brian Harper slammed a line drive shot to left that goes over the wall for a 2-run homer. That gave the Twins a 3-2 lead in the 9th. Paul Molitor doubled to tie the game at 3, and then Darrell Hamilton singled up the middle to score the game winner. Aguilera had 2 outs with no runners on before the Brewers rallied for 2. Milwaukee wins it 4-3. The Twins blew a big chance to build their lead in the West tonight because both Texas and Chicago lost. Detroit beat the Rangers in the 9th inning for the 2nd night in a row. This homer by Rob Deere in the 8th tied the game at 5 between the Tigers and the Jays. In the bottom of the 9th, Dave Bergman lifted this fly ball to center field. Plenty of time for Mickey Tettleton to score the game winner on the sac fly. The Tigers beat Texas again 6-5 the final tonight. And in Chicago, the Red Sox beat the knuckleball of Charlie Huff. Carlos Quintana spanks this one out of the ball yard for his 6th homer. Boston goes on to beat Chicago 2-0. So the Twins blew a golden opportunity tonight. The White Sox still trailed by 3.5 games. Elsewhere, Cleveland has the early lead on Oakland, and Baltimore leading California in the 3rd. Toronto, Kansas City tied at 1 in the 10th, and Seattle beat New York this afternoon. National League, St. Louis by 1 over Cincinnati. Philadelphia beat Los Angeles. San Diego by 1 over Montreal. Pittsburgh beat Houston 6-4. It was New York 6, San Francisco 2, and Atlanta beat Chicago 8-5. Herschel Walker was a man without a team today. First, he was taken off the U.S. Olympic bobsled team, and he wasn't at practice today for the team that pays him $1.7 million a year. No sign of Herschel today at Winter Park, even though he was expected there today. Jerry Burns is not worried about Herschel, but he is not thrilled with us media types asking about Walker's whereabouts every day.
I wish you guys asked me about Chris Carter. I wish you'd asked me about Steve Jordan or John Randall, who's doing an excellent job, or Wayne Walker or some other guys. Everything is Herschel Walker. It's always a negative about the people that are not here.
Well, don't you think it's motivated by the money that he just signed and all the seasons last year?
A lot of these guys make a lot of money. I can't be worried about how much money they make.
All right, now to the bobsled. Herschel was taken off the bobsled team because he can't work out with the team this fall. However, they will give him a chance to get back on the team in January with a special tryout. They're at the midpoint of the Tour de France, and Greg LeMond is still in control of this race. He's led for 4 straight days now, so 51 seconds ahead.
Which is unusual for him, but it's looking good for him.
We will stay on the Herschel watch tomorrow.
Good luck.
Let us know.
We'll be right back.
People say our steak and eggs platter is the best they've ever had. Come and see if you don't agree. There's only one place for food this good. Embers. Only Embers.
A lot of guys are working out and changing the shape of their bodies. That's why the Men's Warehouse has a large selection of athletic cut suits. And as you'd expect, our prices are $100 less than at other fine stores. Like this suit, all wool, great fit, and at $2.95, it fits you and your wallet. I guarantee it.
The Men's Warehouse in Roseville, Edina, Minnetonka, and Burnsville.
You wanted it, you got it. The big deal. 2.9% financing for 48 months on the all-new Ford Escort. Escort, Ford's leader in customer satisfaction, roominess, and repeat buyers. No wonder it's the #1 selling small car in America. And now it's #1 in value. That's right. Ford Escort with 2.9% financing for 48 months. You wanted it, you got it. The big deal. Now through July 30th at your Ford dealer.
There's more to Embers than just great breakfasts. A whole lot more, like our tender broiled North Atlantic cod, one of the finest tasting seafoods anywhere. There's only one place for food this good. Embers. Only Embers.
Hi, my name's Steve Hartman. It says it right here, big as day. Popular name, too. In fact, I work with a few like Steve Edelman and Steve Filmer. We're proud of our name. That's why we'll be at the second annual All Steve Invitational Golf Tournament. You can, too, if your first name is
Steve. Steve? Ron Beck.
Obviously a Steve wannabe. For more information, call 488-2571. Steve time is 12:30 on Friday, July 19th at Phelan Park. All Steves and Stephanies are welcome, but Ron, stay home.
Here's a look at tonight's winning daily 3 numbers, 140, and the Go for 5 jackpot is up to $300,000. The numbers right there, 29, 20, 18, 19, and 8.
Other than winning that, what could one want on a summer night? Any more than this? A little music while sitting next to a beautiful Minnesota lake? It was a picture-perfect night to listen to a concert at Lake Harriet and to dream that you'll be the conductor someday. The Minnesota Chamber Symphony Orchestra performed Next to Water as part of the 1991 Aquatennial.
Next stop, the Minnesota Orchestra, right?
They start them young, don't they?
Thank you for joining us. Have a great night.
Thanks for watching.
Did you know the 91 Chevrolet full-size pickup is America's #1 selling truck? And right now at your Heartland Chevrolet Geo dealers, you can get more and save up to $2,000. 91 Chevy Silverado. Air conditioning, AM/FM stereo cassette, tilt wheel, speed control, Silverado trim, and much more. All this option package equipment saves you up to $2,000 in discounts and cash back when you buy now. At your Heartland Chevrolet Geo dealers, America's #1 selling truck and up to $2,000 savings. Hurry.
Carpet Perfect's Minnesota's largest carpet store is showcasing a huge $1 million reduction sale. This week only, room-size remnants start at $88. Berber carpets were $16.99. This week only, $6.99. Level loops were $8.99. Now just $3.99. DuPont Stainmaster starting at $7.99. Hundreds of irregular carpets showcased at 50 to 60% off. If you need carpet, this sale is for you. Hurry, carpets won't last long. Plus, there's a 90-day, no interest, no payment. Carpet Perfect's on Highway 81, 1/2 mile north of Highway 100, Crystal.
Tip time on how to play in the Timberwolves Hoop Festival at Lincoln Center, Minnesota's largest 3-on-3 tournament. Tip number 1, call 673-1662 to register a team. Tip 2, for a chance to play against the Timberwolves in the KSTP Dream Game, send a postcard to this address. Tip 3, hurry. Games are August 2nd through the 4th, so sign up now for the Timberwolves Hoop Festival at the Lincoln Center, presented by the Star Tribune. All right, who's the wise guy drawing these pictures anyway? Come on now.
Every morning you wake up and, well, maybe the first thing you do is start the coffee or get the kids out of bed. Maybe it's a hot shower or a little exercise that gets the blood flowing. However you start the day, be sure to include Channel 5's Eyewitness News Morning and Good Morning America to help get you up and going with the latest news and weather. So if you're a fast riser or a snooze hitter, count on Eyewitness News and Good Morning America to help start your day. Weekdays on Channel 5.
Is your garage full of treasures? Find out tomorrow at 5.
35 years ago, Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev vowed to bury the United States. Now, the Soviets come to the economic summit in London not wielding a shovel, but a tin cup.
If we are given $20 to $30 billion a year, then I would be willing to carry out a more radical program.
Mikhail Gorbachev is promising economic reform, but he's looking to the West to pick up the tab.
And there is a dream that the good uncle will come and help us.
Can the U.S. afford to help the Soviets, or will it cost too much if we don't?
This is ABC News Nightline. Reporting from Washington, Ted Koppel.
In a recent letter to colleagues in the West, a Soviet politician described conditions in his country in the bleakest terms. There is a critical shortage of food, children's items, and medicine, the letter says. The financial and credit system is in disarray. The state budget deficit is growing. Export trade and currency earnings have gone down. A few years ago, the writer of such a letter to the West would have been subject to arrest. Today, the writer, Mikhail Gorbachev, is in London, preparing to meet with President Bush and 6 other Western leaders. He is looking for help, And as Secretary of State James Baker put it today, there is no chance he will go home empty-handed. There is also no chance in these troubled economic times that help to the Soviet Union will be anything but controversial here in the United States, or for that matter, that asking for help will be anything but controversial in the Soviet Union itself. We have two reports, beginning with David Ensor in Moscow.
The Soviets know their economy is in serious trouble, but there is no consensus on whether President Gorbachev is right to ask the West for help.
Yes, we need money because there is total destruction around us.
Money? No, we will manage ourselves. Our country is bigger than theirs.
There is deep suspicion that if Gorbachev convinces the West to lend money, ordinary people will be left holding the bill. Andrei and Ludmila expect their life together to be difficult, whether or not President Gorbachev manages to engage the West in helping this country.
Whatever President Gorbachev agrees upon with Western leaders is not going to result in any quick improvement. We common people will not see any changes from that aid.
Ludmila is frightened by the idea of full American-style capitalism. She's not sure what to hope for.
It's hard to say, because we've lived under the ideals of Marxism-Leninism for 7 decades, and it's hard for us to start believing in something different.
85-year-old Nikolai Andreevich remembers and supported the Bolshevik Revolution of 1917. He is embarrassed that his president is in London begging capitalists for help.
We should be ashamed at the situation we are in now. Some mistakes must have been made, because such a rich country can't be in this difficult situation. Our leaders must have done something wrong.
Among Russian intellectuals, there is also ambivalence about Western help.
I think the West should not help the system. It's falling apart. And it will, if the West pours money, it will just bottomless. It's an absolutely futile effort. I mean, makes no sense.
But what would make sense is Western investment in specific businesses here. Many Russians are counting on it.
Look at the long-term returns and invest in it. Don't throw money at it. That's hopeless. You give a beggar more money, he'll only beg. But use the money to force the beggar to learn to work, to go to school, to acquire a profession, and you're going to get your money back in a big way.
Finally, while some Soviets are unsure whether or not they want Western help now, President Gorbachev's aides are employing an element of not-so-subtle nuclear blackmail to try and get it. Soviet officials are warning that unless they get outside help soon, there could be a social explosion in this other nuclear superpower, and that, they say, could have unpredictable consequences. I'm David Ensor for Nightline in Moscow.
This is Chris Bury. For St. Mary's, the only hospital in East St. Louis, every day is a struggle for survival. 9 out of 10 patients cannot afford to pay. The hospital is losing millions, and the government has cut back reimbursements for Medicaid patients. No wonder Administrator Richard Mark is in no mood to send tax money to Moscow.
Bottom line is, I think it's wrong to provide funding for foreign countries when you have such a crisis in the healthcare industry here in the United States.
In the small town of Edwardsville, Illinois, where state budget cuts have eliminated all but 2 summer school classes, Washington's priorities are questioned.
Do we take money that could be used for education and give it to the Soviet Union to help them make this transition?
For most students here, the answer is no.
Like, they're talking about cutting out certain programs in the schools. Some of the programs, if they cut them out, I'm not going to be able to get to go to the colleges I want to go to.
But social studies teacher Bill Nunes believes a helping hand for the Soviet Union is the American way, in spite of the troubles here.
It's one of the things that makes us great, that we don't always just focus on our problems. We are generous and we help other countries as well.
From America's farm fields to its main streets, the idea of spending more on the Soviets strikes a chord of ambivalence. American generosity runs up against long-time suspicion of the Soviet state.
Over morning coffee at Jan's Cafe in Illinois farm country, the consensus is that cold cash for the Soviets, or at least credit, is a smarter and safer bet than a Cold War.
Credit's cheaper than bullets. I think it's better to give them credit than to fight them.
But nobody here favors a blank check for the Soviet government.
I hate to keep giving them money. They got oil and gold, which we can use, so I don't know why we can't trade that way.
For Mark Kieber and other American farmers, more money for Moscow means more business for them.
We need customers. We need exports. I think they'd be excellent customers. There's millions of people over there, and they're hungry.
At the county fair, concerns about the Soviet economy cannot compete with the Ferris wheel. But even here, many attitudes about the Soviet Union have come full circle. The idea of trading American dollars for Soviet reforms is not as foreign as it once was.
We begged them to give up communism and tear down the Iron Curtain, and we can't leave them be. We just can't walk away from them. One more try now.
But gambling on reforms in faraway places is a risky bet for many Americans. And they wonder how this country can afford to help the Soviets when there are so many needs at home. This is Chris Bury for Nightline.
When we come back, we'll be joined by a Harvard professor who co-authored the so-called Grand Bargain, the reform proposal that calls for massive Western aid, by the vice chairman of an investment bank who says the Grand Bargain is not the answer, and by the co-founder of the company that sold the first foreign consumer product ever in the Soviet Union.
This is ABC News Nightline, brought to you by Ford Motor Company.
Escort owners talk about the new Ford Escort.
From the 87 to the 91, it's 100% difference.
I would definitely buy another one. It's a good, solid car, and I think it's a good value for the
care about you. And that's why we'll guarantee all body and structural repairs with a lifetime guarantee. Why? Because making you happy is good business.
I love my car, and I love Abra.
Come on, take a swing at Channel 5's Beat the Pro golf tournament.
This week, you'll have a chance to beat Jesse the Body Ventura when Beat the Pro travels to Stonebrook Golf Course.
Anyone playing 18 holes can compete at the Beat the Pro Par 3 hole and qualify to win a Florida golf vacation and other great prizes.
17 feet 3 inches. Let's see if you can beat the pro.
Beat the Pro this Saturday and watch the results on Sunday Sports Wrap.
When it comes to buying a color TV, many people think state-of-the-art begins overseas, when the truth is, state-of-the-art starts here. You just have to know what to ask for. Ask for the only TVs with a great picture and 4 ways to enjoy stereo sound, like Bose and Dolby Surround. Ask for easy-to-use on-screen menus. Ask for the hottest ideas in home theater. Ask to see a Zenith. For true innovation in television, quality never looked more like a Zenith.
This Eyewitness News Sports Update is brought to you by your Zenith dealer.
Ooh, it was a painful loss last night. You knew I was going to say that.
I knew you were going to say just that. It was. I mean, to be so close but yet so far. But Yogi Berra said it ain't over until the lady is singing. And
prove that one.
That's right. And
she was singing.
She was asleep, and they woke her up. Boy, I tell you, if it weren't for bad luck, Kevin Tapani wouldn't have no luck at all. Now, Tap pitched 8 solid innings and turned over a 3-2 lead to Rick Aguilera, who couldn't hold the lead as the Brewers come back in the bottom of the 9th to snatch one from the Twins. With the opening of football training camps, maybe Paul Molitor had visions of being a linebacker as he takes out Greg Gagne on this play, and Gags looks up to say, hey, what did I do to you? But the Twins trail 1-0 until the 5th inning. Randy Bush drills this one down the right field line. Gagne turns up the juice and motors all the way home from first base, and the game is tied at 1 apiece. Now, it stayed that way till the top of the 9th with Jarvis Brown on first. Brian Harper slams this one down the line to left field. It goes over the wall for a 2-run tater. That gives the Twins a 3-2 lead in the 9th inning. Paul Molitor doubled to tie the game at 3, and Darrell Hamilton singled up the middle to score the game-winning run, as Aguilera had 2 outs with no runners on before the Brewers rallied for 2, as Milwaukee wins it 4-3. With the Vikings opening training camp in less than a week, one of the key ingredients of their new one-back offense is still missing. Now, Herschel Walker was taken off the Olympic bobsled team yesterday, and he wasn't at practice for a team that pays him roughly close to $2 million a year. But Coach Jerry Burns said Walker would be in camp by now, but Burns is not worried about Herschel, although he is not thrilled with all of the attention
that the media is giving the whereabouts and the escapades of Herschel Walker.
I wish you'd asked me about Chris Carter. I wish you'd asked me about Steve Jordan or John Randall, who's doing an excellent job, or Wayne Walker or some other guys. Everything is Herschel Walker. It's always a negative about the people that are not here.
Well, don't you think it's motivated by the money that he just signed and all the seasons last year?
A lot of these guys make a lot of money. I can't be worried about how much money they make.
Now to bobsledding. Herschel was taken off the bobsled team because he can't work out with the team this fall. However, they will give him a chance to get back on the team in January with a special tryout. They're at the midway point of the Tour de France, and Greg LeMond is still in control of the race. LeMond is wearing the yellow jersey for the 4th straight day. He has a 51-second lead over Jamalin Abdul-Jabarov of the Soviet Union. 2 news items yesterday. Eric Buchin of the Dutch champion was forced to withdraw from the race because of a high fever. Also, the race had to be stopped because of a train. That's right, a train. The super train was scheduled to go around the race, but the pace was too fast for this high-speed tour. But the Tour de France takes a day off before heading into the mountains. A sports anchor, Tom Ryther, is filing an age discrimination lawsuit for his former station, KSTP. Ryther is 53 years old, and he says the younger sports anchors are getting the best assignments. And the handwriting is on the wall. The station is not renewing his contract after the end of July. Ryther feels it's because of his age.
Didn't change. I didn't suddenly lose the talent that has kept me on or near the top in the television research in this market for almost 2 decades. Only one thing happened. I got older.
KSTP's Vice President of News, Janice Mason, says station managers are surprised by the lawsuit. She denies that changes were made at the station because of Ryther's age. The latest sport to make an attack on steroids, professional wrestling. Some say they were the biggest abusers, but Vince McMahon of the WWF says things are about to change.
Absolutely no doubt whatsoever by anyone in this room, by anyone in the general public, that in a very short period of time, the World Wrestling Federation will be totally sports-free, drug-free sports entertainment. It's also sports-free.
Sports-free, I don't know, some people. But, you know, they just had a recent trial where Roddy Piper, Hulk Hogan, and Vince McMahon himself had to testify, and they admitted to taking steroids.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, so they're trying to clean up their act, which is good.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Greg.
It's 5:49 and 80 degrees. Can you believe it?
No, can't believe it, actually. It's just the beginning of a hot day. Yep. Business news is next, so stay with us.
Buck's Unpainted Furniture Stores are famous for quality, selection, savings on a wide range of beautiful wood furniture for every room in your home. Buck's has one of the largest inventories of solid oak furniture in the Midwest. The furniture you buy at Buck's is easy to finish with all the free advice you need from a friendly, helpful staff. Or if you wish, Buck's professionals will finish your furniture for you and you'll still save big money. Buck's Unpainted Furniture Stores, 4 Twin City area locations.
Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. Time when slow credit, bad credit, or even bankruptcy didn't make you one of the bad guys. A time when a steady job and a small down payment was all you needed to get a car loan.
At Barnett's Auto Credit, we have exclusive sources with money to lend.
Who was that masked man?
Why, he's the Lone Arranger, giving people credit for a steady job.
Call the Auto Credit Department at 429-3391 or 421-4950.
It's a sure bet. Jackpot Junction in Morton is the Midwest's biggest and best Vegas-style casino. Their lavish new expansion has made room for more than 700 video slot machines and over 40 blackjack tables, now using face cards with new table limits from $200 to $500. Plus bingo and 24-hour live keno and a gorgeous new 24-hour full-service restaurant with fine dining every evening. Call 1-800-LETTER-X for directions or more information. Jackpot Junction Casino, 99 miles southwest of the Twin Cities.
Weekday afternoons on Channel 5 are hot. Starting at noon, join me, Kelly Ripa, Haley Vaughn on All My Children. I'll take you to Pine Valley for a little romance.
And at 1, you'll find more excitement with me, Nicholas Walker, Max Holden Buchanan, and the cast of One Life to Live.
Hey, don't go away, because at 2, I, John Riley, well, actually, Sean Donnelly, heats up the screen on General Hospital.
Then at 3, stay tuned for Good Company.
It's a lineup you won't want to miss every weekday
on Channel 5.
Welcome back, everyone. 5:52, 80 degrees here in the Twin Cities. On a very hot morning, it's time for business news.
Stephen Ogg is standing by now in Washington with this morning's Money Matters report.
Good morning. The chairman of the Federal Reserve Board says the recession is over, so the board is not likely to lower interest rates further right away.
In the last several months, monetary policy has adopted a posture of watchful waiting as economic indicators have pointed increasingly toward recovery.
Greenspan's not anxious to lower interest rates further because that could reignite inflation. Still, he told a House banking subcommittee yesterday the recovery is fragile, and many of the sources of financial help available in past recoveries are not available this time. The federal government does not have money to spare. State and city governments are also in tough shape, and banks are proving reluctant lenders.
The credit retrenchment appears to have gone beyond the